Party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $5 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for this Saturday's Bachfest.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hey Stars fans, I'm Ford Jack Picard. It's rivalry night at the Icebox on Saturday, February 22nd when we host the Omaha Lancers. The boys always love when we fill up the Icebox against the Lancers, and we need your support as we continue our playoff push. Purchase your tickets for the next installment of the I-80 rivalry now at LincolnStars.com.
I used to smoke. I thought of cigarettes as my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket Sports News go now.
I'm Enrique Alvarez-Clary. 16th ranked Nebraska softball is in Cathedral City, California for the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic and finished day one yesterday with a 1-1 record. The Huskers began their day with a 4-1 victory over the Baylor Bears. Jordy Ball got her fourth win on the season, allowing just 2 hits and 1 unearned run, which extends her streak of not allowing an earned run to 27 innings. Bella Bacon went deep in the second inning to open up the scoring, her second career home run. The Huskers followed that game up with a 9-1 loss to 4th-ranked UCLA. Hannah Kamenzian got the start for Nebraska and took the loss as she went 3 1/3 innings, allowing just 1 hit, but was charged with 2 runs. With runners on base, the Huskers couldn't put the bat on the ball as they finished the game 0 for 13 with runners on, while the Bruins collected 7 hits in 14 chances with runners on. Nebraska sits at 9-3, their best start since 2018, with those 3 losses coming to teams currently ranked in the top 20. Up next, the 11th ranked Duke Blue Devils today at 3 p.m. 23rd ranked Nebraska baseball looks to get over 500 today as they take on the Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana at 6 o'clock. Mason McConaughey gets the start tonight, looking for his first win on the season, while Ty Horn and Will Walsh round out the weekend rotation. Tonight's game can be seen on ESPN+, while the following 2 will not be streamed but can be heard on the Huskers radio network. The 2026 and 2027 Nebraska football schedule will look a little different after it was announced that the home-and-home matchup with the Tennessee Volunteers has been canceled. Nebraska was going to host the Volunteers in 2026 and travel to Knoxville in 2027. Instead, Husker fans will see Bowling Green in 2026 and Miami, Ohio in 27. The Huskers also added Northern Iowa to the non-conference schedule in 27. Nebraska will be in the midst of stadium renovations in 27 and would like to add an 8th home game to offset the loss in revenue. Keep it tuned here for more information as it becomes available. And for all the latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here to 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is hit. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
When your purpose is clear, you wake up excited, you spend the day focused, and you go to bed happy and satisfied. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show on a fine Friday here in Lincoln, Nebraska on 93.7 The Ticket. If you didn't know, now you know. The Adam Carriker Show is 2 hours long, twice the fun, and yet always still loaded. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Come grab your lunch. Come join us. Our goal is to be, and I think we hit it probably right around just under 50% of the time. Our goal is to be smarter than the average dumb guy. But what you're going to hear, Husker sports, college football, sports in general, what you're going to get in the meantime is unique insight, unbridled honesty, and producer Jake and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. This is seriously, again, a loaded show. Nebraska no longer going to play Tennessee. Eliminated the home and home. We're going to give our thoughts on that. There's an article out. I'm just going to read the headline right now. We'll talk about this actually at the top of the hour at noon. Matt Rhule confirms Dylan Raiola's frustration in Nebraska and hints at darker days ahead of the program. Sounds like an interesting title. We'll dive into that at the top of the hour. Also, Nebraska softball doing their thing. 9-3 after their best start since 2018. Jordy Ball is she's playing really, really well. The Huskers are playing really, really well as well. There's a bunch of other Husker sports to give updates on in the meantime. Carriker's Trivia Challenge is back. That'll be around 12:30-ish, give or take. And then, as always, a whole bunch of random things along the way that I just happen to come across or I dig into, and with all my extra spare time that I wish I had, we'll be talking about that on the show as well. Matt Rhule did go on Josh Pate's National College Football Show, and there's some clips we're going to be sharing from there as well. We've actually got a bunch of clips from the softball game. David Pollack had a couple of interesting things to say. A Nebraska football commit who's undefeated in high school wrestling. Guy's going for a state title, I believe, today. Had some interesting things to say. So let's dive right into it. Off the top rope, Jake. Nebraska ducking Tennessee? Ducking? So the headline I was sent is Nebraska football ducks Tennessee and backs out of home and home. Now, that's one way to look at it. Oh, before we dive into this, okay, I thought this was very interesting. This was actually from Tuesday. I forgot to share it yesterday. Not to completely change sports, topics, and everything, but I just thought this was interesting. All right, as you know, America, USA has been playing Canada and hockey, all right. And here was the headline. In 1996, Keith Tachuk, I hope I said that right, dropped the gloves with Claudio Lemieux 20 seconds into the game between Team USA and Canada. That was 1996. 29 years later, his two sons, Matthew and Brady, their two sons, dropped the gloves in the USA-Canada game. This is past weekend. 3 seconds into the game. The blood feud runs deep amongst hockey people, Jake. Like father, like sons is what the headline says. All right, let's get back to the Nebraska. I tend to go on diatribes and I forget things. I want to get that out there. I just thought that was like, obviously everybody knew that was going to happen. 3 seconds in. I like hockey. I don't completely understand certain things about it, but man, I love that part of it. All right, Nebraska football. Jake, are they ducking Tennessee? So what we're being told is they're going to be short seats in Memorial Stadium while they do the renovations. So that is revenue that they're missing out on. That is money that they're missing out on. And if you didn't know, college football is all about money now. And in fairness, revenue and making money and being able to pay players and pay your labor force and pay your workforce, kind of a big deal now. It's a part of the sport, whether you like it or not, whether you support it or not, it is what it is. So I understand that part of it. Hey, we're missing out on money that we could be making, which is going to directly affect the amount of players and the type of players that we can acquire. Okay, I get that. Do you also see this, though? They're trying to get that 8th home game. All right, instead of going to Knoxville, we're going to be playing, who do I got written down here? Bowling Green, Miami of Ohio. Man, bring on them MAC teams, huh? And Northern Iowa. Our good buddies from Northern Iowa are going to return back to Lincoln again. I believe that's the 2027 season. All right, Jake. Is this all just a bunch of hoopla and BS crap? Or are we running from Tennessee, or do you buy into this?
Well, I get the financial part of it. I get 8 home games. I mean, that makes sense. It's frustrating as a fan. I think all fans are probably going to be united in this. And even though you get an extra home game, I'm sure a lot of us will be there in 2027 for that, well, Northern Iowa game or Miami of Ohio game. But
don't forget Bowling Green.
Right. Well, Bowling Green's in 2026.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
That replaced Tennessee in 2026. But it's obviously disappointing. We've seen teams, and I wonder how much of this kind of factored into is, Michigan 2 years ago won a title without really playing anybody in the non-con. Indiana made the playoffs this last year without playing in the non-con. Kurt Cignetti said this offseason, we're going to keep scheduling like that. So, it's interesting. You play 9 conference games. The big question here is down the line. The Big Ten and SEC are getting close to an agreement where they'd play each other, one team from each conference, every year. So you wonder if that could circle back around. But obviously, as a fan, it's just disappointing. This is a game we're looking forward to. And for a lot of people, heading to Knoxville would have been really cool. That's one of the best stadiums in Neyland State, one of the coolest stadiums in college football. So I can't say I'm not disappointed. I do understand the value in having another home game and just how much Nebraska and Lincoln specifically benefits from getting those home games. So I get it, but very disappointed by it. And if you haven't seen, Tennessee athletic director Danny White is very disappointed by it as well. He tweeted out that Tennessee is not canceling the series. Nebraska did. We are very disappointed that they didn't want to play these games, especially this close to 2026. He's also quoted as saying similar thoughts here, but I think it's kind of unprecedented to pull out of home and home series this late with little notice. So I'm annoyed by it.
He said that. He said, I'm annoyed by it.
Yeah, he's not happy. And I understand.
Man, he is bus driving right all over Matt Rhule and our AD right there, man. Those are some honest, frustrating thoughts. As a fan, I don't like it. I want to see Nebraska, Tennessee. I want to see, my God, I want to see Michigan, Miami. I want to see Nebraska. You get to see more of these matchups because of the types of teams that are in the Big Ten now, from USC to Oregon to Washington, etc. But I want to see Nebraska take on these teams, and I want to see the big-time matchups, which we're getting more of with these super conferences, especially in the Big Ten and SEC. But it's a business. Matt Rhule has shown that he's going to do what he thinks is best, not necessarily what he thinks is popular. You had all these SEC people unjustifiably complaining. We play in the most tough schedule, the most tough conference in America, yet we didn't get in. Okay. But not once did they ever point to Austin Peay or the fact that they play 8 conference games or the fact that most conference schedules for SEC teams were a joke, which they really were. You look at Alabama's non-conference schedule, it was a joke. Okay. And they were the loudest voices in the room. We talked about that numerous times throughout the bowl season, the playoff season for college football, and the holidays. But it's been proven the College Football Playoff Committee is going to go by wins and losses. They go by you are what your record says you are. But to be clear, I don't completely buy into that. Its strength of schedule is up and down. It varies. I'll tell you right now, the SEC teams do not want to go to a 9-conference game unless they get 4 automatic bids like we talked about with the CFP changes earlier this week. Then they'll be happy to go to 9 conference games. Why? Because they can absorb half their teams getting an extra loss. Whereas the Big Ten, already there's an additional 9 losses across the board for the 18 teams because they're playing an additional conference game. My point is simply this. Okay, if you want to get into the college football playoff, there's a lot more reward, whether we like it or not, for beating Bowling Green than there is to lose to Tennessee or to lose to some of these teams potentially. If you beat them, obviously, that's going to jump you up even more. Nebraska is a football program that's trying to get on the rise. It's trying to get in those conversations. Okay, the CFP conversation, a Big Ten title conversation, and conversations that we were accustomed to being a part of for a very long time in the Big 8, the Big 12, and we're trying to get back into those conversations, championship-type conversations, playoff-type conversations, now that we're in the Big 10. The reality of the situation is you need to make more money so you can acquire better players, so you can win more games. Also, if you want to be in the CFP conversation, you need to win more games. They will put more emphasis on a team with an extra win than they will a team with a much tougher strength of schedule but an extra loss. The only exception to that might be like the G5 teams aren't going to get that benefit of the doubt. So there's a line, there is a limit to that. But also, like even if you're a Big 12 or ACC team, compared to the Big 10 SEC, SMU got in over 3-loss SEC teams. And I always argued none of them belonged in. There's too many teams in. SMU didn't belong in. Alabama didn't belong in. You can't have 3 losses and a god-awful loss to Oklahoma and Vanderbilt, who were a combined 500 on the season, I might add. And you got boat raced by 21 to Oklahoma. Like, those are just awful losses. So for me, I didn't think any of them deserved to be in, but the committee showed you. We're going to put in an SMU team with a pathetic schedule over some of these SEC teams who at least play some decent conference games, even though they play one less conference game and their non-conferences aren't phenomenal. Like wins and your win-loss record, they're going to go by your records. You are what your record says you are, more so than the strength of schedule. And so if I'm Matt Rhule and I'm Troy Dannon, I have to take that into consideration. I can't help but almost harken back to Bill Snyder. You remember when Kansas State was probably the worst college football program in America before Bill Snyder? Like, we're talking the 80s and 70s. I think they were ranked dead last in America. Bill Snyder came in and it was like a bakery. It was one cupcake after another, year after year after year. And he said, we've got to win games. We've got to get used to winning. And the W's in the win column are going to matter more than playing tougher teams and losing. So it was to him, it was about, and he built it through JUCO, the JUCO guys, L. Roberson, Darren Sproles, guys like that who were phenomenal players, JUCO guys. So he went the JUCO route. He scheduled the bakery schedule every year, cupcake after cupcake after cupcake, and you look at what he was able to build. I'm not saying Nebraska should do the same exact thing, but I could argue it's a similar mindset to we've got to start winning more games. We've got to get back to used to winning more games. If you want to be in these conversations, you have to have more W's in the win column, not necessarily a better strength of schedule in the SOS strength of schedule column. As a fan, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. But I have to take my fan hat off. I got to take I'm going to try to put myself in Matt Rhule and Troy Dannon's shoes hat on, and that's what I would see. Do I like that we backed out of the home and home with Tennessee? No. Am I mad about it? No. It's a business decision, and I understand it. Any other thoughts there, Jake?
Yeah, no, I get the idea. I get all that behind it. It's just frustrating, and it's going to be tough as a fan. I mean, look at 2026, 2027 schedule right now. The non-con is Ohio, Bowling Green, and North Dakota, and then the next year, Northern Illinois, Miami of Ohio, and Northern Iowa. Now, again, Bowling Green, Ohio, Northern Iowa, Illinois, we saw this last year, get a huge win. I mean, these are still games you're going to have to go out there and win, but the excitement meter for a Husker fan in September getting ready for the season, I'm not sure. So I don't think Nebraska's ducking Tennessee, by the way. Nebraska, as we've seen this last year, has played very close to a lot of the competition, the national champions even, right? So I don't think it's necessarily, we're scared or anything like that. I think this has come down to money, but it sure is frustrating. Somebody off the text line pointed out, kind of reminds you of, remember when Bill Moose explored the idea of getting the Oklahoma series off the books right before the 2021 season? And man, there was almost like a fan. The fans were so upset, and so they ultimately decided not to do that. But that was the same type of thing. It was kind of like, okay, well, 2020 season, we didn't really get anybody in. Now we can get another home game in here. So I mean, it's all about home games and making that money count. But it's just frustrating. And I do want to point out that Tennessee is not completely void of fault here, because this was a series that was scheduled back in 2006 by Steve Peterson, and they ultimately had to move what was scheduled to be a 2016-2017 series because Tennessee scheduled Virginia Tech for that Bristol series, which was really cool, Bristol Motor Speedway. But that's what made this move all the way back. It's just crazy that in the modern day schedules, whenever we hear, Nebraska's scheduled for this team 10 years away, I was be like, yeah, we'll see. This one lasted for 20 years before it's just like, we're going to scrap it.
So basically you're saying it's okay that we're not doing this because it was scheduled by Steve Peterson. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're getting at?
This does have Steve Peterson's fingerprints on it. Yes. So maybe it's good to get rid of it.
I think this is what you're going to see. You're going to start seeing more teams for a couple of reasons, scheduling similar non-conference conference schedules to what we're laying out for Nebraska in the next few years. Not a lot of tough teams, not a lot of big name teams, because you're not going to be rewarded enough for it. You're going to be punished too much for a loss, even if it's to a strong opponent. That's number one. All right. The other thing is some of these teams are now going to play 16 games to win a national title. The pounding week after week that you take in a conference like the Big Ten, the SEC, which way more, probably like 85% of the national champions, with all due respect, going forward are going to come from the Big Ten and SEC. I know Miami, they're capable of rising up, and Florida State's capable of rising up and disappearing. So is Miami, Clemson, all these other schools. Not all these. There's literally about 4 or 5, and I just named most of them with all due respect. The Big 12 had, in the past 3 years, they have one top 25 recruiting class, and that was TCU, number 24, actually, this past year. They're just, the Big 12 is the most entertaining conference. It's the most balanced conference. I've called it America's conference. Outside of the Big 10, it's the one I watch the most because the teams are the most even, and it's the most interesting. It also lacks top teams and top-tier talent on any one particular team. The ACC, as god-awful as it is top to bottom, they've got about 3 teams that have the talent to compete at a high level. So my point is, really outside of like Clemson, Florida State, Miami, I guess Notre Dame's an independent. So outside of those 4 teams, maybe there's a wacky wild card team every year. So let's say every year there's about 5 teams that even have the chance outside of the Big Ten and SEC to even be in the conversation. And everybody else you're going to talk about is in the Big Ten and SEC. That just is what it is. The other 95% of the teams. So when you're beating each other up week after week after week after week in these conferences, the Big Ten and the SEC, and then you get to the playoff. And if we actually start moving these playoff games up closer to championship weekend and you don't have 25 days off, which was, as we've discussed, actually hurts you, all of a sudden you got this beat up team, and it's much like the NFL. Like that bye week is huge for the number 1 seed in the NFL. That's the reason the Vikings and the Lions. Did you watch that Sunday night game where the Vikings and Lions played with the number 1 seed in the NFC on the line? The winner was the number 1 seed, and the loser was the number 5 seed. The Vikings ended up going to the number 5 seed. Now, they both got eliminated before the Super Bowls, we know. But that was like an NFC title game type atmosphere if you watched that game. That meant something. So if we keep spreading out all these college football playoff games, the bye week is actually going to hurt you, and people aren't going to want it. People are going to want to lose their conference championship game, et cetera, et cetera. I do think these things will be remedied over the next couple of seasons. There's going to be major changes after this next college football season, and then 2031, the entire landscape of college football is going to just completely change. We can dive more into that in the future. We talked about some of the changes coming after this upcoming college football season per the college football playoff. The buys are going to look different. There's going to be 14 teams or 16 teams. There's going to be automatic bids, 4 from the Big Ten, 4 from the SEC. But my point is, in the meantime, you got these teams that are playing the top teams week after week after week. You're not playing, how do I say this? You're not like if in the old Pac-10, you had to worry about not even Oregon. Oregon wasn't even good in the old Pac-10. It was Washington from time to time. It was USC, UCLA every now and again. And then one year in 96, Arizona State was a dynamo. It was like you had to get up for 3 games a year. Maybe you schedule 1 non-conference opponent. So it was really, if you're a national title contending team, it was about 4 games a year, 4 games that were a joke, and then 4 games, well, as long as we show up and play well, we'll win. Now it's week after week after week after week. And so why would you add more? As a fan, hate it. I want to see big brands versus big brands, best teams versus best teams. That's what I want to see. If I'm looking at it from Rhule and Dana's point of view, why would I beat up my team more and more and more when all that matters per Ohio State is what I do once I get into the playoff? We have a better chance of getting in. We have a better chance of making more money with the extra home game and getting better players, which is going to allow us to be better. And we have a better chance of not being beaten up once we get into the playoff. I hate everything about that logic as a fan. If I'm Rhule and I'm Danon, that's my logic and that's my reasoning. Thoughts, Jake?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Again, I think it makes sense. It's just frustrating as a fan, and I'm interested to see, where this moves forward, right? I mean, how many teams are going to go about this? And the SEC and the Big Ten specifically, like you said, it can be a gauntlet. I mean, they consider themselves, each one of them, the extra NFL conference or whatever it might be. So, how many teams are going to do that compared to potentially, if we move forward and make just the conference games counts and 4 games get in, 4 teams get in from the SEC and Big Ten one way or the other, that idea might lean yourself toward, okay, well, then we can have these dynamic non-con matches. They don't really matter as far as getting into the playoffs, and we can all make money on big brands facing each other to begin the season. So I don't know. I would guess now that, along with the SEC, Big Ten potentially having that scheduling partnership, but by the time 26, 27 comes around, that might not be the schedule anyway.
So yeah, just to revisit one thing that I mentioned earlier this week, Jake brought it up again. If you go to basically, hey, it's the top 4 teams, there's going to be play-in games. So as we 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, so it turns into 24-team playoff, as we discussed earlier. Let's say there's 16 teams in the playoff, but the top 4 teams from the Big Ten and the top 4 teams from the SEC get in. But really, it's 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5 have to fight for the 3rd and 4th spots in the Big Ten and SEC. You've created play-in games, which are really more playoff games, which is really a 24-team playoff game. But all that matters is your conference record. Then all of a sudden, like Jake said, now all of a sudden you can schedule these big non-conference games. And I would have no problem. Well, they've already got like 2 bye weeks. In the NFL, I've always thought they should have a second bye week. I was going to say I have no problem giving them an extra bye week if you're worried about the teams getting beat up for this longer college football season. But you've already got 2 bye weeks. I don't know if you need a third. But my point is, there's pluses and minuses to some of the changes that are coming in the college football playoff. Some of those pluses and minuses is you're going to eliminate the importance of the college football playoff committee, because it's about the top 4 teams in the Big Ten, top 4 teams in the SEC, top 2 ACC, top 2 Big 12. Okay, which puts you at 12 teams. And if it's a 14-team playoff, then you've got the G5 team, and then you've got the at-large, which is probably Notre Dame or the next highest-rated team. And all of a sudden, other than seeding, the rankings don't really matter. It's about, am I one of the top 4 teams? The only thing that matters is my conference games. And then those non-conference games, to Jake's point, you can schedule big-name brands. The only thing that sucks is it doesn't matter. Like, we play Tennessee and we lose. It's a big game, but it doesn't matter if we lose. So that's the only downside to that. My final takeaway, I was not excited when I saw this. When I take my fan hat off and I think about it from Rhule and Dannon's point of view, I get it. I would not hate a world where, everybody had to play a similar, I know it's a crazy concept, everybody plays a similar schedule. Everybody, regardless of the conference. Like, let's start with everybody playing 9 conference games. Then maybe everybody plays a G5 team, and maybe everybody plays one other power conference team. And if the SEC and Big Ten want to have a scheduling agreement, then it's always Big Ten SEC. Maybe it's a Big 12 ACC. And that gets you to 11 games real quick. Whatever you want to do with that 12th game. I've never been a fan of playing FCS teams. You can, whatever. I don't know. With that 12th game, maybe you play 2 G5 teams, but every team has to play 1 power conference team, so to speak, along with your 9 conference games. And there's your 12 games every year, and then the playoff and play-in games go after that. So to me, that I have this crazy idea of everybody's schedule should be relatively similar. Or, I don't know, maybe the same. Like a 9-2-1. 9 conference games, 2 G5 teams, but you have to play at least 1 power conference team. I mean, I don't know. Is that hard to figure out? Am I crazy for proposing such a thing?
I don't think so. I mean, hopefully at some point, it's always hard. It just depending with the college football playoff up in the air, not knowing what that's going to go to. The conference realignment now seems to be put off for a while, but
2031, yeah, it's coming.
Eventually that'll jump back up again.
Yeah.
You're just kind of making rules and trying to do with whatever that year looks like. And that can be tough to do from 3 or 4 years out.
So just FYI, you keep hearing the top 40 or 50 teams, top 40 or 50 teams. The world where the Big Ten and SEC run college football is here. They have all the power when it comes to the CFP. Talked about that earlier. It's literally mandated now. The ACC, Big 12, and G5 teams said, here, we're going to bend over, spank us like a 4-year-old in Kmart. You get all the power. So they've got the power, but the world where they are officially the 2 conferences that determine the national championship, 2031, is when things are really going to start going that way. But it's this novel concept where if everybody's playing 1 power conference team in their non-conference and everybody's doing it, then all of a sudden to do it isn't a disadvantage. Because Nebraska is going to look at Indiana and be like, well, look at how they got rewarded. Look at how SMU got rewarded. And then look at some of these other teams like Florida. Oh my God. They do have an NFL schedule. Somebody hates the Florida Gators, whoever scheduled their games last year and this year. I can chat about that when we come back if you want. I'm not a Florida Gator apologist. Of the three Florida teams, they're the one team I dislike the least. It's always been that way. But oh my God, they play like 8 of the top 21 preseason favorites to win the national championship. 8 of them. 8 out of the top 21 preseason favorites to win the national championship. But what if everybody played a similar schedule? Then all of a sudden, hey, it's like Indiana doesn't have an advantage versus Florida versus this team versus this team. It really does come down to just your conference then and who you play within your conference. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Right now, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you'll see more than 200 new Hondas and over 125 pre-owned vehicles. Hi, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how does it feel to have so many vehicles in stock again for your customers?
Charlie, it feels amazing to see how excited our customers are. They love the ability to see, test drive, and take immediate delivery of the exact new Honda they're looking for.
Do you have some good offers to talk about?
We sure do, Charlie. We're offering financing as low as 0.9% APR up to 72 months, or great lease rates on every new Honda. It's the perfect time to drive away in the new Honda you've been dreaming of.
How about pre-owned, Andy?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Just about every make and model with prices starting at under $10,000.
Maybe it's time you experience the best, the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, 4-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home. At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
I used to smoke. I thought of cigarettes as my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Attention! For the entire month of February, Acres has John Deere packaged oil and filters for 15% off. John Deere engineers its oil filters specifically for large ag equipment and commercial and residential mowers. With premium materials, these filters meet the unique demands of your farm and acreage. Following a strict maintenance routine with premium John Deere oil and filters ensures your equipment will run efficiently for years. Visit your local Acres store to start shopping today.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather.
Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies with light winds and an afternoon high near 22. Tonight, mostly clear skies, and it will be cold, a low of around 9. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies and light winds again, a high near 38. I'm meteorologist Kyle Carriker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen, Stein Stamina, and much more. Bach beer will be flowing, and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m., and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $5 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for this Saturday's Bachfest.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hey Stars fans, I'm Ford Jack Picard. It's rivalry night at the Icebox on Saturday, February 22nd when we host the Omaha Lancers. The boys always love when we fill up the Icebox against the Lancers, and we need your support as we continue our playoff push. Purchase your tickets for the next installment of the I-80 rivalry now at lincolnstars.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. You never know what's going to happen on this show. We have a surprise guest that we're very excited about. But before we get to him, just a reminder that segment 2 of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket is sponsored by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue. Now with 2, count them up, ladies and gentlemen, not 1, but 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker, and as of this month, now open at 61st and Apples Way, right off Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, it's delicious. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus incredible size. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue at 11th and Cornhusker, and now also at 61st and Apples Way, just off Highway 2 by Lowe's. Now, I want to bring on our special guest. All right. He is one of the prominent members of Linked to Literacy. All right. Mr. Doug Gans. How you doing, my friend?
We're doing well. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you allowing me to jump in and
absolutely
this morning.
Phenomenal. So I'm going to hit you with the hard-hitting news. I'm going to put you right on the spot.
Okay.
All right. And then you've got something we want to talk about next week as well. Nebraska not playing Tennessee. We have pulled out. Tennessee's AD has been not so kind with his verbal response.
Wow.
But what are your thoughts on this as a Nebraska fan yourself?
My initial thought is I go back to 97.
Okay.
And Peyton Manning.
Oh, yeah.
Walloped him. We absolutely destroyed
Putting
them.
it kindly.
Yeah. So I'm sorry they're not coming here. And I assume we're not going there.
Nope.
That's too bad. Great ball club.
So we get the extra home game. So we get The stadium's going to be short some seats while we do the renovation. So now we get an extra home game. So there's going to be some extra money made. Bowling Green, Miami of Ohio, Northern Iowa. That's who we're playing. Okay. Was there anything off the text line that you thought was interesting, Jake? Maybe we could have him respond to while he's here.
Yeah, there are a few thoughts off the text line. Let's see. A lot of people understand it's kind of a business move and understand, but they're still frustrated. So let me run through it. I'll try to find something.
I think that's the reaction most people get anymore. That
it's business.
I grew up here in Lincoln, watched Husker football from the time I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Game's changed.
It's putting it mildly. Yeah. Let me ask you this, because most people are disappointed. Most people understand it's a business move.
Yeah.
All things considered, do you like the decision that's been made? That's putting you right on the spot. I'm sorry.
Real simple. I'd love to see us play Tennessee as opposed to Miami of Ohio. Is that what you
Bowling
said?
Green in Northern Iowa that particular season. Yes.
Wow. Oh yeah. We don't have the volunteers. Absolutely.
All right. So he's not pleased, but he does understand it.
I do understand it. Yep.
So talk to the fine folks at home that are listening. You've got the Go Big Read event next week, but talk to me about Link to Literacy, what it's about, help people understand it, and if they want to, learn more about it, where can they go?
Real simple. We've got our website, linked to literacy.org, LINKED, 2, literacy.org. So linked, 2, then literacy.org. And it kind of explains what we do. Volunteer organization.
Mm-hmm.
Get involved with a couple of pretty good programs. The Dolly Parton Imagination Library. If you've not heard of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, Dolly Parton's folks were illiterate.
Oh, okay.
And so one of the causes that she has is childhood literacy.
Hmm.
So the deal is their organization puts together a program from the time a child is born until the time that child goes to kindergarten. So for 5 years, every month, they get a book in the mail.
Hmm.
So they orchestrate getting the book into the mail. They have to have a local affiliate.
Okay.
That orchestrates raising the money to buy the books.
Yeah.
That's what Link to Literacy does.
Okay. I like that.
In conjunction with the Dolly Parton Imagination Library.
Let me ask
you. In fact, your guy.
No.
Jake Sorensen.
Okay. Go ahead.
Scotland.
Yeah.
His daughter.
Okay.
Gets books through.
All right.
The Dolly Parton Imagination Library.
So I have heard of you before. I've heard nothing but great things. I'm excited to learn more. So thank you for coming in and joining us. All right. So I do have one random question. I think it pertains. One of my kids is dyslexic. So do you have something that maybe helps out dyslexic kids a little bit more?
That I can't answer. I don't know if we have any specific programs. Most of our programs are laser focused on just childhood literacy, getting books in kids' hands with their parents.
Yes.
So they can sit down and read.
Yep.
So I honestly, I think you're probably working pretty hard, you and your wife, to help your child.
No, that's okay. It's a unique thing. I know it's a little bit of a unique thing. Most schools, they're like, they recommend someone that we take him to rather than doing something in-house just because it is a little bit unique. So no, here's what I know. I got 6 kids. Kids love to be read to with their parents. They love it when they're young. You can almost like, I don't want to say teach it to them, but they learn to love reading when they're young with their parents, and it sticks with them forever. One of my daughters, okay, I'm not even joking. Her room is a library.
Yeah.
It is she reads books this thick. I haven't read a book in way too long. She reads books this thick, and they're just on her shelf, just all over the place. She loves to read. Part of that was something that started when she was young as well. So this is something that I've seen firsthand, kind of going both ways just a little bit. But talk to me next week, the Go Big Read event. What do people need to know?
The university in the athletic department, Kristen Nett.
Okay.
Kristen has an organization that she established called Wishing, and they do a lot of great things with kiddos. And one of these, when she found out about linked literacy, she thought it would be a great idea to get the student athletes involved.
Okay. Yes, for sure.
So next week, Go Big Read, starting Monday, Go Big Read at school. There are going to be some Husker athletes at a number of elementary schools. Tuesday at 3 libraries, basically from 10 in the morning to 11 in the morning. Story time at Walt Branch, which is out south. We work out at the Isley Branch, which is at 15th and Superior. And then music and movement at the Gear Branch on South 56th Street. all these 10 to 11 with Husker cheer and spirit leaders and some mascots. Wednesday, Go Big Read in the community. I think they're going to be at the Gathering Place, in fact, then at McPhee Elementary. Thursday, I'm going to be over at Sheldon Thursday afternoon from 4 to 6. A lot of parents and kiddos getting to do some art and read and check out Sheldon. If you haven't been to the Sheldon Art Gallery.
Okay.
Oh, phenomenal. Your daughter would probably love
Probably,
Sheldon.
yes.
Oh,
yes.
Off the charts. It's one of the best galleries in the United States.
Really?
Yeah. It's top notch.
Right here in Lincoln. I like that.
And then on Friday, Go Big Read at Home. And I think this has something to do with getting online with the hashtag Go Big Read. So we'll try to get a little bit more information out.
Okay.
There'll be a number of folks that talk about it all week. Yeah.
So you said there's going to be some current Huskers there. All right, not just football, but other sports. Do you happen to know any of the players or who might be there?
I don't know.
It really doesn't matter. It's going to be a phenomenal surprise for the kids. They're going to walk in, whoever it is, and the kids are just going to freaking erupt.
Yeah.
They love that.
It's pretty cool stuff. I remember when I was a little guy at Maud Rousseau here in Lincoln. I was probably 8 years old. Joe Cipriano was the head basketball coach from 63 to about 80. Joe's kids went to Rousseau. We got our class onto a school bus, went down to the Coliseum, and got to meet the Husker basketball team.
Very cool.
And Joe, Stuart Lance. I remember Stu Lance, and a brilliant guy. Had a great 10-year career in the NBA after being a Husker, and then became the on-air, the play-by-play guy for the Lakers for 30 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Started here at Nebraska.
Wow. That's awesome.
Playing for Joe Cipriano. And I can remember to this day, his whole point being, stick with it in school.
Yes.
Not everybody's going to the NBA or the NFL. So you better hit the books.
I don't recall the stat that I saw, so I'm not going to try to get close to the number. But per the testing that they do every year with kids across America, like the percentage of kids who cannot read at their appropriate grade level is astounding.
It is astounding.
And this can have a huge impact on that.
Yep. The numbers are pretty significant, and there have been a number of studies that have come out recently. So we're focusing on the kiddos in grade school and trying to get them going and get their parents involved. And that's a part of like the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, getting books into the home so that the kiddos and the parents can have an opportunity to read at night.
So linktoliteracy.org. All right. The Go Big Read event going on all of next week. Is there any other information that folks should know?
I think that's it. We'll have to see if we can get some of this on your website, maybe on our website.
Absolutely.
So we can share it a little bit more. And any questions, anybody can call me if they'd like.
Is there, how do you want them to reach out to you then?
436-2458. I work for Pinnacle Bank here in town. Anybody has any questions, they want to find out about it, they can always give me a call.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, he just gave out his personal cell phone. That's 402-436-2458. I'm just kidding. Jake, you got anything off the line there real quick before we let him go?
No, very good to break.
All right, Jake says we're done. All right, text line. Are they happy with the Tennessee thing? They're not happy. That's a dumb question. Do they understand, or are they more unhappy?
More unhappy and frustration.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to join me, Doug. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Husker Nation, it's your last chance to see Nebraska women's hoops in Pinnacle Bank Arena before they head to the Big Ten tournament. Head down to Pinnacle Bank Arena on Sunday, February 23rd at 2 p.m. to watch the Husker women's basketball team compete against Washington. It's senior night, so help them thank the seniors by creating a loud and proud sea of red in the stands. Get your tickets today for as low as $10. Head to huskers.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen, Stein Stamina, and much more. Bach beer will be flowing, and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m., and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $5 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for this Saturday's Bachfest.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Hey, Stars fans, I'm Ford Jack Picard. It's rivalry night at the Icebox on Saturday, February 22nd, when we host the Omaha Lancers. The boys always love when we fill up the Icebox against the Lancers, and we need your support as we continue our playoff push. Purchase your tickets for the next installment of the I-80 rivalry now at LincolnStars.com.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's child care tax credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show, the extra loaded show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, let's dive into it. Nebraska softball, the number 16 Nebraska softball team opened the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic with a 4-1 victory over the Baylor Bears, good old Waco team from Texas. In the first two games Thursday at the Big League Dreams Complex in Cathedral City, California, Jordy Ball, 4-1, earned the victory in the circle for Nebraska, which is now 9-3 on the season, but at this point it was 9-2. Ball did not allow an earned run and struck out 9 batters while tossing a 2-hitter. Lily Walker, 1-2, took the loss for Baylor. So here we go. Offensively, Olivia DiNardo went 3 for 4 with 2 doubles. Bella Bacon hit a home run for the Huskers. All right. And Hannah Kamzadid had 2 hits, both of which were RBI singles. All right. So Nebraska takes down Baylor 4-1. But here's the part of the game that stood out to me. You got that softball clip there ready, Jake?
Yep.
So it's all about situations in just about every sport. Football, baseball, and softball in particular. Basketball as well, to a degree. This actually bit Nebraska in the rear in their next game versus UCLA, a top 5 team in the country. But Baylor had the bases loaded with no outs and was threatening in the bottom of the 5th. And then this happened.
You want to be the team holding all that momentum as you enter.
Ball rocks and fires her 2-2. Jordy Ball sees the bases loaded and responds by striking out the side. 3 Ks with 3 runners on. One of the nation's best. Back, healthy, and looking the part.
So what you heard there was Baylor had the bases loaded with 0 outs. Baylor loaded the bases with no outs and was threatening in the bottom of the 5th. But Ball posted 3 straight strikeouts to end the inning. That is situational dominance when it matters the most. All right, so the Huskers take down Baylor in their first game yesterday. Jordy Ball extended her scoreless inning streak to 16.2 innings before Baylor scored in the bottom of the 7th. Jordy's having a phenomenal season. Despite losing her scoreless streak, Ball extended another streak as she has not allowed an earned run in 27 innings. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 3 freaking whole games. All right, the Huskers then played number 4 UCLA. The number 16 Nebraska softball team fell to the Bruins 9-1 in 6 innings on Thursday night. All right, the game was tied 1-1 after 3 innings, and Nebraska trailed just 2-1 heading into the bottom of the 5th. But UCLA pulled away with 2 runs in the 5th and 5 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Remember that situational excellence, or whatever you want to say, that I was talking about earlier? All right, 13 of Nebraska's 20 at-bats came with runners on base, but the Huskers were 0 for 13 in those situations. Now, the Huskers are still 9-3. All right, their best record since 2018. All 3 of their losses have been versus ranked teams. So we will discuss their schedule more as we get down the stretch. They have tried to, as opposed to some college football teams, this is a shot at nobody indirectly, just the way college football is set up. They've actually tried to front load ranked teams in their non-conference, knowing they won't face as many, and obviously UCLA is a Big Ten team, but they won't face as many once their conference games roll around. It's really UCLA, Oregon, and kind of Nebraska. Those are the top 3 really only ranked teams within the Big Ten Conference come softball. All right, Tyson Terry. How much you know about Tyson Terry, Jake?
Oh, not a whole lot, just that he's a recruit for Nebraska and a wrestler.
Tyson Terry has the same approach on the gridiron as he does the mat. I believe he's undefeated in his career, 167-0. I believe. He said, I want to be dominant. I want to take their soul. The Husker football commit is now 2 wins away from completing an undefeated high school wrestling career. Go ahead and play that clip. I just love the mentality. He just wants to rip their throat out, rip their heart out in a competitive sense, obviously, but just to be clear, that's what he wants to do when he's competing against somebody in wrestling or football. Go ahead and roll that clip there, Jake.
I mean, for me, I'm more of I want to be dominant. I kind of want to, show my opponent who he's wrestling, not just wrestling, but, football too, carry over to the football field. I want to be dominant, But for me, it's kind of my mentality, go out there, dominate someone. Don't just beat them by a few points. You kind of want to take their soul, as you will. And so it's just kind of going out there and, make sure you're leaving no doubt.
I like that attitude. I like that a lot. Excited to see what he can do. Get him officially signed to Lincoln, see what he can do here. And wrestling, yes, does translate over to football, leverage, things of that nature. So I'm excited to see what he can do. Hopefully, he goes out and wins that state championship today. I believe it's today. Good luck with that. All right, couple of other thoughts here real quick. We got 2 clips actually from David Pollock. But if you didn't know, the highest graded true freshman linebacker from the 2024 season was Vincent Shavers Jr. from Nebraska. He graded out of 71. This was interesting. Somebody on X actually posted underneath that the grading system was bogus, and Vincent's dad, Vincent Shavers Sr., basically responded to that and said, "You're bogus." I tried to screenshot it. I must have cut off his comment, but basically it was an interesting exchange. I thought it was just a little bit entertaining there. All right, and there actually is a back-to-back-to-back Super Bowl champion. It's not the Chiefs, it's not the Eagles, but Darian Kinnard, the Eagles' Darian Kinnard, has won 3 straight Super Bowls, becoming the second player to do so. Here's with the Chiefs in 2022, 2023, and the Eagles in 2024. All right, I want to play those 2 clips from Pollock. Play the first one, and then we'll get into the why he wasn't a fan of wrestling as the second one. You got that first one there? Go ahead, Jake.
And just kind of taste of adversity, because I think a lot of people always look at your story and they're going to read your bio and they're going to introduce you and they're going to say 3-time All-American, first-round draft pick, college game day, and then you're going to be like, well, let me tell you about some things that sucked, because this is great, but this didn't come without a ton of failure and a ton of adversity and a ton of questions and a ton of fear at times and a ton of all the stuff that comes with anything that you're going to achieve that's great. There's going to be great adversity.
I love that because it's the truth. Anytime I hear somebody talking about all their accomplishments, I think 2 things. I think, number 1, if you're good, you'll tell people about it. If you're great, other people will tell people about it for you. Number 2, when people talk about, I won this, I won that, never lost this, never lost that, not many people are just undefeated in whatever it is they're doing. Like, I'll talk to defensive linemen, and I'll be like, if somebody ever tells you they've never been pancaked, they're either a liar or they've never faced any real competition in their life. My first practice play ever, I went against Phil Peets. I had no idea he was borderline psycho. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. It's tight ends versus defensive ends, one-on-one blocking drill. We stalemate. He's a 5th-year senior. I'm a true freshman. I'm happy. Whistle blows. He keeps going. It's not dirty. I learned that this is just Phil. Like, he's going to go to and through the whistle. But he's like the nicest guy ever. Pancakes me. My first practice rep ever. Pancaked. My first play in a game ever against Utah State. I guess the guy pancaked me. I really fell down because I was so nervous. It was really on me. He didn't really do anything. I don't want to take anything away from him. He didn't do anything. I just fell on my face because I was so freaking nervous. My lifelong dream coming true. And hey, welcome to Memorial Stadium. I would like to think that things evolved and changed over time. The only true success comes from overcoming real adversity. And I love that. Like, David Pollock is as real and as honest as it gets. And if you look down his list of accolades, it's absurdly long. And he was really good. I've had the chance to chat with him a few times, interviewed him. I'll tell you right now, the first thing he'll direct you to, just like in that clip, is this is what I had to overcome. This is what you don't know. This is the reality of how I got here and went through this. So for me, that just resonated with me when I heard it. Now this next clip, I mean, you can take it as serious as you want. I've got a question for Jake afterwards. But go ahead, Jake.
What about my wrestling story?
That is a great
Is that appropriate?
100%.
Because you can't quit. Like,
yeah.
once you start something, you have to quit. My mom.
You definitely need to work in the wrestling story.
And
that's very memorable.
We can end it there actually today. But like, you know, my mom, they talked me into being the fat kid. They had no fat kid to wrestle, so they needed a 275.
Like heavyweight.
Yeah, and I wasn't even close. I was like 215 at the most. I was, after a week, I was like, this sucks. And my mom was like, once you start something, you got to finish. And so I went through the whole season. And after the state championship match, I'll never forget, I threw my bag in the front seat and I said, Mom, Dad, next time I wrestle on a mat half naked, it won't be with a boy.
So speaking of that, how'd your Valentine's celebration go, Jake?
It's good. Thanks for asking.
Oh, so first of all, his mom wouldn't let him quit, even though he knew he was never going to do it again. Okay. And again, it's another example from a guy who's never wrestled of somebody saying just how hard wrestling is. I've had multiple people tell me it's the hardest sport they've ever done. This includes football players, basketball players, baseball players, like et cetera, et cetera. I just thought that ending was phenomenal. I had to roll with that clip.
And he's talking to a pastor. That's not
Oh,
appropriate.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he asked, he goes, is this appropriate? So he has a couple of podcasts he does. And the one he does is a college football show. Check it out if you ever get a chance. The other one is with a pastor. So, yeah, I think that's why he's like, is this appropriate? And the pastor's like, yeah, it's whatever you want, David Pollack. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we come back. Dylan Raiola, frustrated? Unhappy? All right, and we're going to analyze some of the clips from Matt Rhule's sit-down interview with Josh Pate. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see mostly sunny skies with light winds and an afternoon high near 22. Tonight, mostly clear skies. It will be cold, a low of around 9. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies and light winds again, a high near 38. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Hey, Stars fans, I'm Ford Jack Bakar. It's rivalry night at the Icebox on Saturday, February 22nd, when we host the Omaha Lancers. The boys always love when we fill up the Icebox against the Lancers, and we need your support as we continue our playoff push. Purchase your tickets for the next installment of the I-80 rivalry now at lincolnstars.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your County Veteran Service Officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen, Stein Stamina, and much more. Bach beer will be flowing, and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m., and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $5 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for this Saturday's Bachfest.
93.7 The Ticket Sports News go now.
I'm Enrique Alvarez Clary. 16th ranked Nebraska softball is in Cathedral City, California for the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic and finished day one yesterday with a 1-1 record. The Huskers began their day with a 4-1 victory over the Baylor Bears. Jordy Ball got her fourth win on the season, allowing just 2 hits and 1 unearned run, which extends her streak of not allowing an earned run to 27 innings. Bella Bacon went deep in the second inning to open up the scoring, her second career home run. The Huskers followed that game up with a 9-1 loss to 4th-ranked UCLA. Hannah Kamenzian got the start for Nebraska and took the loss as she went 3 1/3 innings, allowing just 1 hit, but was charged with 2 runs. With runners on base, the Huskers couldn't put the bat on the ball as they finished the game 0 for 13 with runners on, while the Bruins collected 7 hits in 14 chances with runners on. Nebraska sits at 9-3, their best start since 2018, with those 3 losses coming to teams currently ranked in the top 20. Up next, the 11th-ranked Duke Blue Devils today at 3 p.m. 23rd-ranked Nebraska baseball looks to get over 500 today as they take on the Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana at 6 o'clock. Mason McConaughey gets the start tonight, looking for his first win on the season, while Ty Horn and Will Walsh round out the weekend rotation. Tonight's game can be seen on ESPN+, while the following 2 will not be streamed but can be heard on the Huskers Radio Network. The 2026 and 2027 Nebraska football schedule will look a little different after it was announced that the home-and-home matchup with the Tennessee Volunteers has been canceled. Nebraska was going to host the Volunteers in 2026 and travel to Knoxville in 2027. Instead, Husker fans will see Bowling Green in 2026 and Miami, Ohio in 27. The Huskers also added Northern Iowa to the non-conference schedule in 27. Nebraska will be in the midst of stadium renovations in 27 and would like to add an 8th home game to offset the loss in revenue. Keep it tuned here for more information as it becomes available. And for all the latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here to 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show, the top of the hour. All right. It's a loaded hour. We got 4 clips from Matt Rhule's most recent interview with National College Football Show host Josh Pate. We're going to be going through those 4 clips over the course of the next hour. There's an article that I'm staring at. I read the headline earlier. All right. We're going to go through this just a little bit. Matt Rhule confirms Dylan Raiola's frustration at Nebraska and hints at darker days ahead for the program. Okay. Chat about that for a minute. But I got a question for the fine folks at home. I asked Jake. I said, hey, is there anything from the text line we should use? He said, everyone's just pretty much pissed. So if there's something that sticks out from the pissed off crowd, let me know there, Jake. But in the meantime, I got a question for you. If you could only pick one thing for Nebraska to massively improve on this upcoming football season in 2025, what would it be? Let me know. Let me know in that text line. What's the number there, Jake?
402-464-5685.
If you could pick one thing for your college football team to massively improve on in 2025, text in and let us know what it is. Also, Carriker's Trivia Challenge is back. All right. Be the first person to call in for the Dahlia, created a new word there. I don't know if it's going to stick. Hopefully not. But the Daily Trivia Contest, a $100 gift certificate to Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street here in Lincoln, Nebraska. All you got to do, call in. That's the same number. What's that number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
Be the first person to call in. We'll bring you on air. You get 3 questions. I get 3 questions. All right. You can win a $100 gift certificate to Automotive Solutions. All right. Be the first person to call in. Whenever we get a caller, just let me know, Jake. The people trump whatever it is I'm yammering about at that point in time. All right. So the person who wrote this, at first I thought it was Amir Abdullah. It says Amik Abdullah. So one letter makes all the difference in the world there. Matt Rhule confirms Dylan Raiola's frustration. Nebraska hints at darker days ahead for the program. All right. Then the first line of the article, Nebraska's season is turning into a real dumpster fire. This guy's a real upper. Real positive guy here. They were supposed to be contenders in 2024. Big dreams, bigger expectations, but they were falling flat. Dylan Raiola, their supposed savior. Man, this guy has no bias at all against us. All right, came in ready to set the world on fire, but spoiler alert, it didn't quite go down like that. The man's frustrated, and we all know the pressure is only going to mount from there. But Matt Rhule, he's already seen the storm coming, and he's ready to double down. Let's break it down. The hype around Raiola was unreal. Coming in as a 5-star quarterback, all eyes on him, all expectations sky high. But after a strong start, Nebraska ended up finishing 7-6 with a pinstripe bowl dub. He literally typed out dub. We're talking a squad that started 5-1 only to collapse and stumble into mediocrity. Raiola's numbers, not exactly the stuff of legend. He was a 19-year-old true freshman, but I'll read on. 2,819 yards, 13 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Not bad for a freshman. Ooh, something not horrifically horrible said towards us. Okay, before someone tagged as the future of college football, it felt a little underwhelming. A little underwhelming, I could get behind. Everything else seems a little over the top. But understandably, the kid's frustrated, and Matt Rhule, Nebraska's head coach, confirmed it when he joined Josh Pate's speaker series. Okay, we're going to dive into this a little bit more, some specific clips. And I quote, sometimes as the younger players come in, the Dylan Raiolas come in and they're frustrated. We're losing, but they understand. As they go through it, they'll make the steps, but nothing comes easy, end quote, Rhule said. He's not wrong. Raiola's got room to grow, but when you've been hyped up as the next big thing, those growing pains feel a lot heavier. But here's the kicker. Rhule's talking about darker days ahead, and there's a reality check for anyone who thinks Nebraska is going to turn the corner anytime soon. He drops some heavy truths about how far the Cornhuskers are behind the big dogs like Ohio State. Okay, I'm done with this. Like, I've read it before. It sounded even worse as I read it again. So, of course, Raiola's frustrated. Why wouldn't he be frustrated? He wants to win more games. He wants to continue to get better and continue to improve. So, to me, when I read that, I was like, this guy hates Nebraska. This guy hates the Huskers. But what was intriguing to me was I started to try to look at it and why I actually brought this up. I see articles all the time. Some are more asinine than this, not many. Some are less. Some are actually like fair and impartial and good. But I tried this caused me to put myself in Dylan Raiola's shoes. Okay. If I were Dylan Raiola, how would I feel right now? I'd be frustrated we're not winning more games. I'd be frustrated the second half of the season. Wasn't quite there anywhere near as good as the first half. But the other flip side of that is he was a true freshman. We've got a new OC. We got a bunch of new talent we brought in. We did do a lot of things that hadn't been done around here in a long time, 12 straight years. We'd lost to Wisconsin, got over that monkey, won 2 one-score games, beat Colorado, shut their freaking mouths up. Actually, they just cry louder. But it should have quieted them down a little bit. I wish we could see them more often, but the other side of me says I wish we don't see them for a very long time. But my point is this. And then we went to a bowl game, won the bowl game. Okay, had a winning record for the first time since 2016, all these things. If I'm Dylan Raiola, I'm looking and I'm like, man, I'm frustrated about this, and this. But this, and this is why I wanted to come back and why I want to help build the Nebraska football program. If you pay attention, when recruits come in, when transfer portal guys come in, a lot of those pictures that they will then put out, Dylan Raiola's in a lot of them because he's trying to do as much peer recruiting as he can. Not everybody's willing to do that. And that's something I've always appreciated about him. There's certain things he needs to improve on. There's certain things I'm like, okay, fine. If that's part of the package, I'm fine with it as long as the package wins. So for me, it caused me to put myself in Dylan Raiola's shoes. And Jake, if you put yourself in Dylan Raiola's shoes, how do you think you would feel right now going forward into the next season?
Well, like you said, there should be a little bit of frustration, especially, the season didn't finish the way that they wanted it to down the stretch. And obviously winning 2 of 3 down in their final 3 games was good. And again, like you said, they accomplished some things. So, I think he's used to winning at a little bit higher level than 7-6. But obviously all the things that happened with the shakeup on offense and stuff. But I agree with you. I mean, you just look at how great of a peer recruiter, ambassador of the program he has been. That leads me to believe that he's not as frustrated maybe as that article might lead you to believe.
Okay, I found these other 2 articles, and they literally pertain to the same exact frickin' thing. It's not what you say, I've learned through public speaking, it's how you say it. They're regarding the same exact topic, canceling the spring game for Nebraska. Matt Rhule's paranoia is neutering the Nebraska spring game when it should be hyped. Okay, same exact topic, written by someone else. Matt Rhule is ahead of the curve with Nebraska football yet again, talking about canceling the spring game. How crazy is it when people try to just go over the top one way or the other? I don't know. When you hear just drastically different headlines like that on the same frickin' topic, what do you think, Jake?
Well, I mean, obviously, people are allowed to think what they want. I mean, it's the spring game is going to be the same thing as this Tennessee thing. If you're bothered by it, I don't. There's plenty of reasons to be bothered by it. If you understand and see why, at least the reason they're doing it, then you can kind of set it up that way. I mean, it just kind of reminds you back to the old thing Bobby Bowden says: just win. If you win, then yeah, there might be some people complaining over here, but it's gonna be a very small majority or minority of the crowd. And if as it currently stands, not everybody's thrilled with what's been the first couple of years here at Nebraska. Not everybody, there's traditions right now more through college football changes than anything that's going on at Nebraska that is changing traditions here at Nebraska. And this is a crowd. There are people that love the spring game, love a non-conference game. So I get it.
You know that USC, Texas, Ohio State, more schools, UCF have canceled their spring game. Yet it's Matt Rhule that's either paranoid or ahead of the curve. It's very intriguing to me. I love the fact that he's very open and honest. And I think that's part of the reason he tends to get the headlines with some of these things. I guess it gets Nebraska out there one way or the other. As a guy who does shows for a living and talks about topics for a living, I thought it was interesting. The narratives that were created before you ever actually read a single word of the headline. But putting myself in Dylan Raiola's shoes was the main thing that kind of stuck out to me from the first article that I started reading. And it's kind of like what Jake said, like what I said. Hey, certain things went well, certain things didn't, but he's out there. And some people don't love that he's at all the volleyball and basketball games, and then he ran over to the crowd at the end of the bowl game. For me, I talked about this before. I was like, hey, I don't mind what comes with the package as long as the package is representing Nebraska well and the package wins some games. And if that's part of the package, then so be it. But I see a guy who's out front trying to help win games at Nebraska. Matt Rhule talks about how hard he works. Okay. And so for me, he's having fun, but let's go out and let's win some games. All right. Let's play the first clip. So we've got 4. All right. And I think they're all fairly interesting. Or should we go to break and then come back and play the first clip?
Yeah, we might want to get to break.
Yeah, let's get to break. Well, let's do this. If you want to be a part of Carriker's Trivia Challenge for the day, which we now do twice a week, all right, go ahead and call this number.
402-464-5685.
We'll bring you live on the show. You get 3 questions. I get 3 questions, and you just might win a $100 gift certificate to Automotive Solutions. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Hey, Stars fans, I'm Ford Jack Picard. It's rivalry night at the Icebox on Saturday, February 22nd, when we host the Omaha Lancers. The boys always love when we fill up the Icebox against the Lancers, and we need your support as we continue our playoff push. Purchase your tickets for the next installment of the I-80 rivalry now at LincolnStars.com.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
February is American Heart Month, and with heart disease as the #1 leading cause of death in Nebraska, now is the best time to start thinking about your health. Maintaining a healthy blood pressure is one of the best ways to avoid heart disease, and the blood pressure screening is fast, easy, and can be free. The best way to get screened is at your yearly wellness visit with your doctor. For more information and ways to get a blood pressure screening, search Chronic Disease Nebraska. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Well, it's the middle of winter, the holidays are over, and the weather is unpredictable. Isn't there anything to look forward to? You bet there is! Cash Blast from your Nebraska Lottery is back! Until April 1st, buy a 2x2 ticket and enter the voucher number online for a chance to win one of 7 weekly drawings for $5,000 or $500. And if your voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. Hey, there's nothing like a little green to cure the winter blues. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen, Stein Stamina, and much more. Bach beer will be flowing, and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m., and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $5 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for this Saturday's Bachfest.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Did you know that Jaden Daniels had more passing yards throughout the NFL than any other quarterback that played this past postseason? Who was number 2, Jake? You have any idea who number 2 was?
Ooh, trying to think about it. Hurts? I don't know.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, there we go.
Had more passing yards throughout the playoffs than Patrick Mahomes. Now, this is where having the full scope of things can change how you view things. You got to remember the Chiefs had a first-round bye. So that alters things just a little bit, but those are the numbers as I see them before me. All right, let's go ahead. Let's play the first clip that you've got prepared from Matt Rhule's latest interview.
You've been talking about spring a whole lot. Everyone up there in Lincoln's talking about the spring game, and is it going to exist in its classic form? Whatever the idea said this. Okay, so there's this common talking point out there that college football is just like the NFL these days, which sounds good if you don't have to defend the viewpoint. But if anyone challenges you on that, like if someone were to say, "Oh man, college football is just like the NFL," and I say, "Give me some examples." Well, free agency is not like the NFL. Salary cap at this point that we're talking is not like the NFL. Enforcement is not like the NFL. Overall equity of structure is not like the NFL. So you've been a head coach at both levels. You just said, it's not really like the NFL. Like, just because we pay players today, and just because it may look a little bit more like the NFL than it used to, is there not still like a night and day difference between the Saturday and the Sunday game?
Night and day. And I mean, there, as you said, it looks a little bit more like it. You do have to assign value to players. You can't just all go, I remember when I left college, I went to the NFL. In the NFL, you get one first-round draft pick. In college, Alabama doesn't get one 5-star. They can get 8 of them. So that's where the disparity occurs. So I was like, hey, let's go to the NFL where everything is built on parity. It's not going to be that way. I think one of the biggest things is that because there is no contract, because they're just player promise contracts that the player can leave at any point, what you're going to see is I might assign a value to a player of, hey, I think a starting right guard is worth X amount of dollars. That in the NFL, that's kind of consistent. But in college, another team might say, you know what, we can't get these guys, so we're going to pay 3 times that value for your player. And so really your value comes down to what you're willing to pay for somebody. It's completely different. So all the salary cap managing type people, you'll need to do all that. But at the end of the day, at the core part of the day, it's going to be about each coach having to make a decision every year about which players am I willing to keep, which players am I willing to walk away from. And am I thinking of this in a 1-year increment? Am I thinking of it in 3-year increments? Now if they ever did go to contracts, it would be completely different. And then if everything gets leveled, it still comes down to recruiting. It still comes down to the player saying, hey, what's the best fit for me? What's the best opportunity for me?
When you hear that, what do you think, Jake? Because it's like, if I'm a college coach, it's never ending. I've got to think 3 years down the road. I got to think 1 year down the road. I got to think about this position. I got to think about the money I have. What's it going to take to get him? What's the next school going to offer him? It's not based on contracts at the moment. The salary cap is coming, but it's not here yet. Some other Yahoo school, I shouldn't say that. Some other school might offer him 3 times what he's worth. And what do you think when you hear all that?
I can't lie when I heard it, and especially when he says right guard. I'm kind of.
I wonder where that came from.
I'm kind of thinking maybe if he's talking about Rocco Spindler,
Virginia.
But yeah, I mean, I mean that's what it is, and that's where this roster management is so hard. I mean, it's been somewhat well reported out there that that's kind of what happened with Dante Dowdell. He wasn't really looking to leave. He just got a pretty darn good offer out of the portal, and then okay, well maybe I'll change my mind. So and again, it's not. I like the fact that he's kind of pointing. It's not necessarily the value to you. You could put the value on the position, but if somebody else needs that position, well, then they're going to pay more than what your value is on it. So, man, is that hard? And then I know a lot of people like to go back to, well, nobody's loyal or nobody appreciates this. This is your chance to cash in life-changing money, and it's going to go by like this. You're going to have so. I don't blame any kid if you get a pretty darn good offer to think, quite a bit and maybe to make, whatever move that might be to change the future of your life and maybe your family's life down the line.
I am not jealous of head college football coaches at all right now. The process to player acquisition is different than it's ever been. It's harder than it's ever been. It's obviously more expensive. That's part of the game. Now we all know that. Evaluating. Like you're going to have to, like he said, he's going to have to assess what individual players are worth. Like it's going to become who can throw the ball, who can rush the guy throwing the ball, who can protect the guy throwing the ball, who can catch the ball from the guy throwing the ball. And that's a lot of it was what it's going to come down to. So for me, I thought that was very interesting. I thought it was very telling. It wasn't in particular shocking. I've heard similar things, but to hear Matt Rhule specifically talk about those things when he's the guy in charge of the program that we love, it just landed even more with me. All right, go ahead. Play the next clip, Jake. Oh, real quick. Everybody's got problems, right, Jake? Mm-hmm. Do you have Lamborghini and Mercedes type problems?
No, I do not.
Miami student athletes, Carson Beck and Hannah Savender had 3 vehicles stolen overnight. Beck's Lamborghini and Mercedes are still missing, while Hannah's SUV was found. Do you have Lamborghini and Mercedes type problems, Jake? Is your Lamborghini missing?
No, mine's right in my my garage still. Yeah.
I'm sure it is. All right, go ahead and play the next clip.
It still comes down to the player saying, hey, what's the best fit for me? What's the best opportunity for me? The days of teams loading up and having a great second team, because that's usually the difference, right? The best programs have the most depth, but now teams are going to buy away their depth. Hey, why be a second string guy there and make $200,000? Come be a starter for us. Maybe it's not as good a program. Maybe it's not as good a league, but come be a starter for us and make $500,000. And not many kids, some kids will, but not many kids are going to turn down, that much of an opportunity change. And so it's really going to come down to who's the most creative.
There's the betterment for the player individually. There's what's best for a program collectively. There's what's best for a league. Then there's what's best for college football. I've found, in my opinion, that those don't always perfectly overlap. So case in point, let's say over at Pate State, I've built this dominant roster and I got championship caliber depth in the old way of doing things. Then the new way of doing things comes and my 2s and my 3s are bought out from under me for probably 2 or 3 times what they're worth, but there's desperation in the marketplace. That's great for that player that he just got that money. It is great for the program that they had the resources allocated to be able to come do that. It's not good for me because I just lost my championship caliber depth.
As a Nebraska fan, how do you not like that? That helps Nebraska. Instead of Georgia being able to have 2-3 deep on their roster that are going to be first round draft picks, the guys that are like sitting there and are like, hey, I'm pretty good. I want to get on the field now, or I'm a young guy and I want to get on the field sooner rather than later, or I want to start making that NIL money now. They're going to look for other places. And those places are going to include a place like Nebraska. And to me, that levels the playing field. I actually like this part of it. I think if you're a Nebraska fan, how does that not excite you to a certain degree? What do you think there, Jake?
Well, I can tell you why it doesn't completely excite me is because I would have liked to have Princewell, Umini and James Williams on it. I mean, it happened in Nebraska. It's just, again, it takes away a little bit of that college football story of, okay, this guy's up and coming. We found him. We're developing him. And then he's going to be ready to take that role next year. And we've built it in and we're ready to go. And all of a sudden that guy's gone. Whoever you develop to, plays well enough to get some flashes on the field, they're going to get offers elsewhere. So I get it though. Look, you're right. I mean, Nebraska kind of what we like to say is one of the have programs sometimes, but like you're saying, kind of the way they've played lately have been scaling backward to where this could actually help them rather than hurt them.
There's pluses and minuses. The thing I would say about Princewell is an example. He wasn't a guy that wasn't going to get an opportunity to play this year. Like, to me, that's a little bit of a different example. I'm talking about guys that are like second, third string, especially at places like Georgia and Alabama, where they've been so good for so long because they were so deep. And if guys got banged up, there was, let's be honest, another 5-star to step right in. I'll never forget when your Alabama had all these injuries and Nick Saban was mad in the press conference. Like, you think we just grow 5 stars on trees? Yes, I do. I do, actually. You recruit them, but you go pick the tree and you were paying them when other people weren't. But that's not a real accusation. That's just rumor and innuendo. I want to throw that out there, Jake. But my point is, now it's going to be more dispersed. Princewell, he left for whatever the reasons were. Was he one of the guys you interviewed here?
No.
That was James Williams, and who was the other guy?
Gabe Irvin. I don't think is there anybody else.
Okay. So for me with Princewell, he was going to have a chance to play. There were other reasons that he left. It wasn't that he was, I don't want to say buried on the depth chart, but he wasn't going to play as much as he would have liked. Those chances were going to be right there. He left for whatever the reasons were. I think it's part of the 150 to 105, Tony White and Terrence Knighton leaving. And so there was a little bit of a mass exodus on the defensive side of the ball because of that. To me, this is going to level the playing field when it comes to talented guys being dispersed across more teams because they want to get to things sooner rather than later, which is a little different than the mindset I grew up in. You red shirt, you earn it, but year 3 or 4, you get, you probably earned it, hopefully, by that point in time. There's something else that could actually help Nebraska. As much as you and I are not fans of college football playoff expansion and going to 12 teams and everything else, and I personally would have stopped at 8, but I actually like the new potential 14 to 16 team format better than the current 12 team format because Arizona State and Boise shouldn't be getting buys is one of those reasons. But TJ Pittinger, who's got a great YouTube page, all right, it's College Football Fanatic. He had an interesting take about Nebraska and the college football playoff and what could be better for Nebraska specifically as far as getting more talent, but also potentially how the new CFP is going to be. And I quote, they, Nebraska, could certainly make a run at it this year. I don't know that this is the year that people are pegging Nebraska to make a run to the playoff, but man, with an expanded playoff with 4 guaranteed spots that we talked about, it really feels like this could be a stepping stone to 2026 being really successful for the Huskers, end quote. Now, the rest of the things that are kind of written with this, surely the expanded playoff will benefit teams like Nebraska who couldn't always make the cut, but now it will guarantee more opportunities or more spots for Nebraska to get at the table. Things about the new college football I don't necessarily like just as a college football fan. If I'm a Nebraska fan, the opportunity to get more talent when we have the ability to spend quite a bit of money because that talent doesn't want to sit low on a depth chart. Okay. Or the opportunity to get into the playoff being expanded because there's going to be more spots available for Nebraska per se to get into. There's certain things, if you're a Nebraska fan, they're not the worst thing in the world. As a college football fan, not the biggest fan of it. What are your thoughts there, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, it does remind me that how big this season is going to be. I mean, we talk about taking that next step to getting to 8 or 9 wins. And I don't know if Nebraska necessarily needs to get to a college football playoff this year. But when you think about what this season really means is setting up for Dylan Raiola's junior year. And by then, that might be your last year with Dylan. And, that's the whole goal. The whole, program has kind of been built toward we want to be competing for championships by the time, he's an upperclassman. So this season, they absolutely have to take that next step to position themselves for the next season. And it would be great if they could just skip that altogether and just get to the playoffs this season.
We have to wait another year. It is what it is. All right. So we got 2 more clips. Let's play. All right, Jake. Let's play let's play the last one. Do you have that last one ready? I think it's a little bit shorter.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's also, I think so much of football we think is play calling. You know, but really when you get down in the weeds, right, especially in the NFL, but in college too, but you know, as rosters shift around, if my right guard can't block that 3 technique, it's really not about what the best play is on the whiteboard. It's really about, hey, how are we going to manage that 3 technique? You know, Josh, when I walk in every week and we're playing somebody, the first thing I do is I put on their defense. And I just try to identify any player that can wreck the game or anything that they do that can wreck the game, whether it's a special blitz they have. And then it's like, okay, we have to attack that. And then I go over to the offense and I look and see, you know, is there a special player they have that we have to take away in some regard? Or is usually in college football, is there a run game just so tough we have to defend it? It's so much more about the players. And it's so much more about the matchups and who's successful and who's not, that the play calling, when you have better players, you can call a lot of really good plays. To me, I want to know who finds a way to win consistently. And that is an ability, kind of going back to what I said earlier about attacking, you know, the new world of college football. Who's versatile, who's flexible with their brain, who can adjust to the things that have happened, who can adjust. Like Chip Kelly's such a great offensive coordinator. It's like, hey, give him whatever quarterback you give him, he's probably going to find a way to score points, right? Like, I mean, he did it certain ways at UCLA, does it different ways at Ohio State. They grew and morphed at Ohio State throughout the course of the year. That's coaching. And so I just think we overemphasize just the way it looks. I think we do that with the playoff committee. You know, just show me a team that wins and show me a coach who figures out how to win with whoever he has.
Is that his way of standing up for Marcus Satterfield? It's not about the play calling. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with that. The player acquisition. So anybody can be a good player, play caller, so to speak, is if you got really good players. There is something to be said, though, for the actual play calling ability and setting up things down the road. And we're going to, I'll never forget, 96, 97? Amon can tell this story. He's told it to me. He said it elsewhere. They're going on the road to play Colorado. It's a big-time game. All right. I think Rick Neuheisel was the Colorado coach. And I actually interviewed him at Big Ten Media Days. To this day, he doesn't understand why this play happened. He said they just ran what they always do, which is not true. Tom Osborne changed up how they were going to block that first initial option play. And he pulled Amon Green aside, and he said, this is what we're going to do, and it's going to go for a touchdown. You go back and you watch that first play in Boulder, it went for like a 50-plus yard touchdown. So there's something to be said for the scheme having an effect and adjustments and this and that. Because you got one coach who's on the other side who to this day has no idea that the play was changed and they blocked it differently. And the other coach is like, it's going to go for a touchdown. So there is a certain degree of play calling matters. Now, to Coach Matt Rhule's point, I think he's right. Because I've asked several coaches over the years, what advice would you give to a college football coach? Not one of them ever said play calling. Like if you could give them one piece of advice, not one of them ever said play calling, if they could just give one piece of advice. In fact, Tom Osborne, you want to know what Coach Osborne said? He did not say play calling. He didn't even say recruiting or relationships. You want to know what he said? He said thick skin, Jake. He said thick skin. You got to keep in mind, he was about fired multiple times. So for his particular situation, as beloved as he is now, there was multiple times when he thought he was going to get fired. 78. Right, first time they beat Oklahoma, lost his first 6 games versus Oklahoma. He about went to Colorado. Like, people were not happy. He about went to Colorado, but he stayed because he had been telling young men for so long Nebraska's the place to be, and he didn't want to tell them that, and then he leaves and goes somewhere else. After the 90 season, all right, Georgia Tech co-national champs, Georgia Tech mollywops us in the Citrus Bowl. After that, he's told me about a meeting he had with his coaches where he said, hey, we're all going to get fired. You might as well start looking for jobs. So for him, it was thick skin. For every coach, it's different. When I asked Coach Solich, his exact words were, Adam, anybody can draw plays on a board. What he said is it's about relationships with the players. So to Rhule's point, play calling matters. You can set things up. Think about the throwback from Mike Stuntz to Eric Crouch, 0-1 versus Oklahoma, number 1 versus number 2. What was it, black 41 flash reverse pass or something like that? They set that up 3 times throughout the game with different motions that they did. It looked the exact same. Then all of a sudden they toss it back to Stuntz. Thunder Collins tosses it back to Stuntz, and it's a throwback for a touchdown. So there's certain things you can do, but there's talent acquisition, there's relationships and building, and there's a certain amount of, hey, I'm going to do what I believe is best, even if it's not popular, a.k.a. thick skin. So I've really enjoyed, I'm only halfway through this interview. I'm going to go through the other half of the interview. We got one more clip before we get out of here today. We'll play it in the last segment. But I've really enjoyed it because a lot of things he said match up with things I've heard before, match up with things that I've seen that have worked and haven't worked. And he's like, nope, that's not what it's really about. Like, I think Matt Rhule has every capability of getting Nebraska going in the right direction. It's just got to actually happen. And I'm going to come back to, it's got to be the little things. I'll save that diatribe. I've done it before, and I'll probably do it again, but I'll save it for now. For now, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll play that final clip that we've got for today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Everton plays Man United at 6:30 a.m., followed by Ipswich Town versus Tottenham at 9 a.m. To cap off the Saturday action, Aston Villa plays Chelsea at 11:30 a.m. On Sunday, Newcastle plays Nottingham Forest at 8 a.m., followed by Man City versus Liverpool at 10:30 a.m. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer, located at 8th and P.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
February is American Heart Month, and with heart disease as the #1 leading cause of death in Nebraska, now is the best time to start thinking about your health. Maintaining a healthy blood pressure is one of the best ways to avoid heart disease, and the blood pressure screening is fast, easy, and can be free. The best way to get screened is at your yearly wellness visit with your doctor. For more information and ways to get a blood pressure screening, search Chronic Disease Nebraska. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
Mulberry Barbecue now has a brand new second location to help all your lunch and dinner cravings. Stop by their newest location at 6125 Apples Way near Lowe's off of Highway 2. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burn-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Mulberry Barbecue open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway, and now at 6125 Apples Way in South Lincoln.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. We're going to dive right into it. Nick Saban gets eviscerated, and then we got our final clip of the day. On a recent episode of the SEC football podcast, SEC Mike Breton dived into the latest college football buzz with Paul Feinbaum weighing in as the voice of the SEC. Biased. The conversation took a sharp turn when Mike brought up the idea of expanding the regular season conference schedule to 9 games. What a concept. Feinbaum then revealed a shocking revelation, particularly in reference to Nick Saban. Feinbaum said, and I quote, "In terms of the 9 games, I want to get your thoughts on that because it's taken a while. We've been together many times when certain conference members, you know who they are, said, well, we don't want to go to 9 games. The most surprising was 2 years ago, the guy that led that fight was Nick Saban. Suddenly I said, I don't know. He said, I don't know if I want to see Auburn and Tennessee and LSU every year. Remember that Feinbaum said about Saban's quotes. To be honest, his words sent shockwaves, calling out the unexpected shift from one of the SEC's most powerful voices. Well, let's be honest. He's now the most powerful voice probably in all of college football, talking about Saban. After Paul's bold stance, Mike didn't hold back in his response. Mike fired back with a sharp take on Saban's shift in opinion. And I quote, oh, yeah, this is a little harsh. That was when that decaying dynasty was on its last leg. Just remember, they were still pretty good at the end. Okay, they almost won the Rose Bowl and beat Michigan. But here we go. We couldn't make it any more difficult on Nick. Poor Nick Saban with the best roster and all. So, yeah, that was quite an about face. But I'm glad that now I'm not happy he stepped aside because I think he makes the SEC better. But I am happy that he's no longer in the way of a 9-game regular season schedule. And I quote, I saw a thing from Kirby Smart earlier this year. Why would we go to 9 games? It gives half our teams an additional loss. Like the SEC has been very out there and out front about why would we do this? We want the extra dub. We want the extra easy win. I don't like that we're not playing Tennessee. Nebraska's using the same logic. Love it, hate it. It's the same logic. Does that make sense, Jake?
Yeah, it does. I've always stuck up for the SEC a little bit about this.
Why?
Because
they can get away with it?
No, many of those teams play dedicated crossovers. Georgia plays Georgia Tech every time. Alabama, LSU always schedule
They
hard.
get 3 bye weeks.
Florida and Florida State play
2 scheduled
each other.
and 1 non-conference cupcake.
I'm just saying. It's not like Nebraska. Look at Nebraska's schedule 26 and 27.
Yeah, we finally bought in. Oh, my God. Did I just actually sound like I support? Oh, I'm ashamed. All right, play the last clip. We got it real quick.
You guys had not even had bowl practices.
Can you pause it
or
real
had
quick?
A bowl game.
I'm sorry. The one final thought on this thing. I don't blame Nebraska for this decision that I don't like. I blame the way college football is set up. You're rewarded for scheduling cupcakes in your non-conference, playing eight conference games. You are not punished. You are not punished for playing 8 conference games. Has it bothered Clemson when they were coming out of the ACC? Has it bothered the SEC? No. So why would they not take advantage of it? As much as I hate it. Sorry, I couldn't let that go. Do we need to save the clip for Monday now?
We can hurry up.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You guys had not even had bowl practices or had a bowl game since, 2016? Yeah. Up until last year. So you make a bowl last year. That used to be cause for minor celebration. And now it's Nebraska. Were they in the playoff? No? All right, next. How do you feel like year 1 to year 2 went?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that we went from playing, this is with all love, we went from playing in the Big Ten West to playing a much harder schedule. Yeah. So we went from 5-7 to 6-6, but we were a much better football team. Close losses, which have kind of hampered Nebraska for a while. Close losses usually mean, hey, we're just not as good as we want to be yet. People act like it's like the secret sauce, but we went from playing good teams to adding in a USC, to adding in, even UCLA, who got hot for a little stretch there. I mean, we played some really tough teams. Indiana, who obviously Coach Cignetti came in and with the new modern rules, the transfer portal, like he revived them, he re-energized them. So I feel like we made a step. Is it where we want to be? No. But to your point, at the end of the year, I did stand up and say, hey, listen now, we're not going to apologize for being the first team to go to a bowl game in 9 years. And actually then we're going on and winning it, having the first winning record in a long time. We're not going to apologize we beat Wisconsin and we won the statue, the trophy, and it's in our office and it says for 12 straight years, it says Wisconsin. There's not one time it says Nebraska. And so, we're not going to apologize for what we did, but we also recognize that we've got to be in the. We didn't come to Nebraska to not be in the playoff conversation. I do hope that people recognize that there's some leagues where, you have to beat one or two. You have to beat 1 or 2 teams, and you're probably going to be in the conversation. In the Big Ten. I don't know, is Michigan going to be in it next year? Probably. I think Ohio State going to be in the conversation? Probably. Is Penn State going to be in it? Probably. Iowa, probably. USC, probably. Washington, Oregon. And there's a lot of teams you can make a case that they're going to be in the college football playoff race down the stretch. And so there's a lot of work to do in our league. So, yeah, we're proud of what we did. It's a good first step. You look at my history, it's always year 3, year 4 that we're successful. So I'm not really, hey, come and win right away type of a guy. I'm kind of build it this way. And I think we're building it that way, though.
So I don't know if you're aware of this, Jake, but actually Kurt Cignetti and Matt Rhule coached together at Temple under Al Golden. So they've got a little bit of a history there. But what's your instant reaction to that? I'll give mine, and then we got to get out.
Well, I've just always been a big fan of the Big Ten West. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that statement. But at the same time, it does ring a bit true. I mean, they took that step. And it's kind of funny because the way that Pate worded it, obviously not being a Nebraska fan, it was kind of a big deal to beat Wisconsin and just go to a bowl game and not get to the, the playoffs kind of aside. It was a big deal to get to the bowl game. So, I agree with kind of what he's saying, though. It's going to get tougher, not easier moving forward in the Big Ten.
I like to use the word statue. Not the trophy. He eventually did say trophy, but hey, we got that statue away from Wisconsin, basically, is what he was saying. There was definitely things we did last year that we had not done in a while. There are things that Matt Rhule is doing this offseason. There's reason for optimism. There's certain things about college football I'm not excited about. But there are certain things about college football that we've discussed today that actually might be beneficial to Nebraska if you're a Nebraska fan, even if maybe they're not the things I like for college football as a whole. I get more and more excited as we sit here on a wonderfully freezing cold February Friday, just thinking about next college football season. Do I drink the Kool-Aid now or wait a few months? No Kool-Aid yet. All right, have a great weekend. Go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the bomb.
Mulberry Barbecue now has a brand new second location to help all your lunch and dinner cravings. Stop by their newest location at 6125 Apples Way near Lowe's off of Highway 2. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burn-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Mulberry Barbecue open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway and now at 6125 Apples Way in South Lincoln.
Well, it's the middle of winter, the holidays are over, and the weather is unpredictable. Isn't there anything to look forward to? You bet there is. Cash Blast from your Nebraska Lottery is back. Until April 1st, buy a 2x2 ticket and enter the voucher number online for a chance to win one of 7 weekly drawings for $5,000 or $500. And if your voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. Hey, there's nothing like a little green to cure the winter blues. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 100, 5,000.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R. When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
Let me introduce y'all to my canes. These are chicken figures. They hit the spot, baby. Fries are golden crispy, Texas toast crunchy, and they cane sauce creamy rich. One love.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen, Stein Stamina, and much more. Bach beer will be flowing, and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m., and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $5 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for this Saturday's Bachfest.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Abby with Midwest Bank. Stop by our new location at 70th and Pioneers. Our new full-service branch does it all. From our friendly staff to our easy online banking and mobile app, you get all the technology of a big bank that you need, but you still get the hometown customer service that you want. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Hey
volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, National Player of the Netherlands, and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Garage doors can